Morning, guys.
Good morning.
April 12th, AT day 66. We just passed under the Blue Ridge Parkway, Interstate 81. And we're coming out of Atkins, Virginia. We stayed at the Long Neck Lair Hostel yesterday, where we zeroed. And it's always awesome getting back on the trail after a zero and realizing how important they are. Because I feel great. How do you feel, Gigi?
Absolutely agree. I feel awesome.
So any of the knee problems or foot problems that we were experiencing before we zeroed are gone. And it's really cool how one day of rest can take care of all those problems. So one thing we've noticed is the past 5 days since we left Damascus, we're not seeing any hikers and shelters are empty. I've never seen that before. It's kind of weird. It's like hiking on a very desolate trail. I think in the past 5 days we've seen probably 3, maybe 5 thru-hikers at the most. And I don't know if we're in between bubbles or what, but I mean, occasionally we get passed by the really good hikers, like what I like to call the tier 1 hikers, guys that are doing 25 to 30 miles a day. But that's about it. So I'm wondering if there's a bubble behind us that's slowly catching up or what. So anyway, 15 miles today, hopefully 15 miles tomorrow, and then we're probably going to zero again because it looks like some bad weather's rolling in. So being the fair weather hikers that we are, I try to avoid that bad weather as best I can. Anyway, I'll see you down the trail.
See you.
Get the date on that one.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
So there's a 4 ship of F-16s. One right over here on this ridge line. It's just about nap. And that's number 4 right there. That's number 3. 1 and 2 just went over there. We pretty much just got a show of force right here going through this field. It's great.
So we had about 12 miles so far, and since the trail is not so difficult, we decided to stop at this creek and soak our feet.
Woo! That's cold.
Pretty cold, huh? You're not brave enough to put your feet in the water.
That is ice cold.
Looks pretty old.
Okay, so we just left the shelter we were planning on stopping at. It was at the 15-mile mark, but 3 miles ahead is the Lick Creek Bridge, and the Lick Creek Bridge is out. So this is supposed to be a real ford, not like the last one. So it's 4 o'clock when we got to the shelter. We're like, why don't we just keep going? Because if we can get to that ford, and we can ford that today, when it's still warm out, and we can get our stuff dry, you know, before we go to bed and everything, instead of hitting that river when it's in the morning and it's cold and it's supposed to get down in the 30s tonight. So I'd rather just get it done today, find a place to camp right next to the river somewhere, and call it a day. You agree, Gigi?
Absolutely, yes.
I'd say the bridge is out.
So we just finished up our 18-mile day today, and we find this amazing campsite behind me next to Licks Creek, and you can see this bridge is damaged, so we had to walk across the creek, and we're going to call it for a night and have some pad thai for dinner and go to sleep. See you next time.
Okay, so we did a 18.2 mile day today. It was fairly easy. There were a couple of tough mountains to get over. You can see we're camped up here by the warning sign. That's where the bridge is out at Licks Creek. Anyway, going back to the rural retreat area, we were down around the Blue Ridge Parkway, and we stayed at the Long Neck Lair Hostel. Left there about 8:30 this morning, and crossed under the Blue Ridge Parkway and started climbing up into the mountains. We crossed over this mountain and kind of got around this area where you see the green flag. It says pastures, right? And that's where we flew the drone, and that's also where the 4 ship of F-16s flew by. So we had 2 aircraft come down this valley right here, and then there were 2 aircraft that kind of skirted this ridge line right here in the middle. It's pretty cool. That's the 3rd time that's happened to us since we've been on the trail. It happened in Hiawassee, Georgia, and then shortly thereafter we were at a shelter somewhere in Georgia, and 2 F-16s flew over. It's pretty cool. Anyway, we got down to this little area and tempted to go to Bear Garden Hiker Hostel to get some ice cream, but we skipped it and ended up making the climb up to Knot Mall Branch Shelter, and that was our 15-mile point, and that's where we kind of planned to end our day. But when we realized that the river ford was only 3 miles away and it was only 4 o'clock, we're like, let's just do the river ford when it's 70, 75 degrees outside instead of doing it tomorrow morning when it's going to be like 40 degrees outside. So, thinking river, I kind of thought there was going to be campsites next to the river, even though it doesn't say there's any campsites. So we were kind of planning on possibly going to this tent site right here, but instead we found a great campsite right next to the river, just like I kind of thought there would be. So shorter day tomorrow, 12 miles instead of 15, and we have to go over Chestnut Knob, I think, and it's a big mountain. So Chestnut Knob, yep. And then we're gonna take another break at another hostel and wait out some bad weather.